Hi, welcome back to my channel. It was such a sunny day today that I just thought, what a perfect day for filming. Also, you have to let me know what you think about the hair. I braided it whilst it was wet, so I've got this kind of crazy, crimped Barbie hair look going on, but I'm kind of digging it. What I'm going to talk about today is something that I kind of referenced in one of my videos a while back, but I feel like it could be quite interesting because a lot of people do ask me about it when I mention the fact that I have been hypnotised, or should I say successfully hypnotised. So I'll get the few kind of things out the way at the beginning. So no, it wasn't like a magician trying to make me I don't know, I was going to say lay an egg on stage, but I think that's wrong, you know, act like a chicken on stage or anything like that. It was actually done in like a medical sense. The reasons why I got hypnotised, I won't go into masses of detail, but I was really struggling with a mix of things, with anxiety, with sleeping, and actually my work, so big up to them, actually suggested that I go and do this because they said it sometimes can help people. So I thought at that time it was probably the darkest time in my life, which is really sad, but that's gone past now. So I thought, hey, why not? Let's try it. So I went off and got hypnotised, and I guess this is the story of how. When I went to be hypnotised, obviously when you go to be hypnotised, if you've not been hypnotised before, your first kind of question is like, am I going to be out of control? Am I going to be able to be hypnotised? Like, I had all these thoughts going around in my head. And the guy that hypnotised me, who I'll probably reference in this video because he is amazing, and you do want to make sure that you go and see someone that knows what they're doing. He just basically said, so you're here, how come you're here? Like, did your work make you come? You know, just trying to give me a bit of context. So I told him, you know, all the reasons why, blah, blah, blah. And then actually he spent the first hour just telling me what hypnotism was, which I actually really appreciated. So I'll try and do a bit of an abridged version, but I'm obviously not an expert, but which I found really interesting was about your subconscious and your unconscious mind. So for instance, your brain has these kind of like two states. It's conscious mind and your unconscious mind, and your unconscious mind basically deals with everything that you kind of do without thinking about. So for example, right now I'm not thinking lungs, breathe, heartbeat, blood pump. That's kind of going on its own. My subconscious is dealing with that. My conscious brain is thinking, am I being really loud? Can James hear me downstairs? It's a bit chilly in this room. I need to think about what I'm saying on this camera, blah, blah, blah. So it's all those thoughts that are kind of present in your mind. And your conscious brain can only deal with 5 thoughts at once. So for example, if you're leaving to go for work, a minute you're like, what am I going to cook for dinner? Shit, I've got a really important meeting I've not prepped for. Whatever these 5 thoughts are, and then you lock the door, then you get halfway up the road and you think, did I lock the door? That's because your brain was already dealing with 5 thoughts and your conscious brain can only deal with those 5. Apparently so. So essentially your conscious brain and your unconscious brain need to be telling each other and your brain the same thing, and in order for something to work. I know that's not that clear, so again, like to explain a bit more. So an example would be if your conscious brain is telling you there's no need to be scared of flying, you know, millions of people fly every day, you'll be fine. But your unconscious brain is going, shit, we better get into panic stations, where's the vodka, where's this? Basically means that you're never going to be not scared until that unconscious brain is really saying what your conscious brain is, like the sense part really. And what you need to do when you get hypnotised is try and speak to that unconscious brain that's still kind of like niggling. So for me, my conscious brain would be like, don't worry about it, it's cool. My unconscious would be like, nah, you better get worried. This is going to be the worst thing you've ever experienced. But your conscious brain is going, go to sleep, it's absolutely fine. And I'm sure we've all dealt with these like kind of internal dialogues. So kind of I went there, and what the guy explained to me, I hope I'm explaining this properly because I'm really not sure I am. He basically said was, we need to get your unconscious and your conscious to be saying the same thing. So no amount of, I don't know, like meditation, well for me anyway, like other forms of therapy wouldn't really work until these 2 brains were talking to each other. So what he basically said was, what I'm going to do next, hypnotise you now. So I didn't really think on the first, I thought the first one would be like me listing all my woes, and him kind of going, writing stuff down. But actually it was far more focused on like educating me. And then I filled in this long questionnaire, which was on a scale of 1 to 10, how how do you feel, like 10 being the greatest, 1 being the smallest, how much do you feel like this? So it could be, how sad do you feel? How happy do you feel? How in control do you feel? And he basically said over the course of the 3 sessions that I had, we'll see the numbers go from like 1s, 0s for some stuff up to like 8s and 9s. And I was like, oh yeah, let's see you cure my 15 years of insomnia. So I sat in this chair, literally just kind of like a recliner, a sofa. He put a blanket over me and some headphones over my ears, and he said, well, now it's up to you what you do. You can close your eyes, have a little doze, you can listen the whole time, you know, he said there's no right or wrong. You can fall asleep, you can not fall asleep, you can feel like you've heard every word I'd said and think it's stupid. Basically just do what you want, there's no kind of thing. So he starts off, eyes closed, kind of like dim in the room, and he's talking to me through my headphones, and he's just sat at his desk kind of in this officey room, and he starts talking to me. And the first stuff that he kind of said was breathe in for your nose, out for your mouth. Like lots of people will be familiar with that if you've done any kind of like mindfulness. You'll find like you're starting to relax, one leg gets heavier than the other. Again, a lot of this stuff might be similar if you've ever struggled with sleep. And I was like listening in, and then it started to go a bit nonsensical, so I couldn't really follow what he was saying. Obviously it wasn't like gobbledygook, it was words, like you're walking down a path, you're on a beach, this, that and the other. And after a little while you find yourself kind of zoning out and thinking, God, I hope the tube's not busy on the way home. Oh, did I put those plates away this morning? Like, have I got, what am I eating for dinner tonight? And then you're like, I should be listening to what this guy's saying. So then you kind of snap back into it. And then after a while, he talked to me for 45 minutes. He kind of comes out, counts you out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're kind of like, I was awake for all of that. And then he was like, oh, how long do you think that you've been, like, I've been talking to you? And you're like, 5, 10 minutes. And he's like, oh, well, 45 minutes, an hour. And you're thinking, okay, that's weird. Like, I've just lost, like an hour of my life, don't really remember. And he was like, did you hear everything I said? It's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, tell me what I said. And then you think, one leg was heavier than the other. And then you think, oh God, I can't remember anything he said. And that is because he was getting your unconscious brain to listen, while your conscious brain was dealing with all those kind of weird thoughts. Basically he said, right, okay, you'll feel probably like you've just had a nap, go home and I'll see you in a week. So I was like, okay. So I kind of went home, went about my normal life, and over that period of a week, from not sleeping for 15 years, like I would get up 4, 5, 6 times a night, wake up at 5 and then just be awake, I started to sleep through the night. Like getting up once and I was like, what? Like this can't be it. And I started to feel really happy in myself. I know if you've ever been through like a difficult period of time, you'll know what I mean by you start to just to feel like your old self again, like you've kind of lost that but you find it again. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I went to see him again and we talked about all this stuff, did my scores, and from 1s and 2s we went up to 5s and 6. Some stuff's still quite low, and he was like, okay, we're going to concentrate on this low stuff. Did the same thing again. This time gave me a recording to listen to at home. So he was like, right, I'll see you again in like 2 weeks. Listen to the recording if you want, don't have to. Like, it's very much like you don't feel like you have to do anything. So I was like, oh, okay, listen to it a few times. And he said to me, in the next couple of weeks, you'll probably start to feel more productive. You like the stuff that you've been putting off, you'll start doing. Work won't feel as bad. And he was right. Like in that couple of weeks, like I stood up for myself at work, loads of stuff done that I'd probably been putting off in the back of my mind, and just started doing like the stuff that I wanted to do again. And yeah, since then, I would say, as cringy as it sounds, my life has changed, like for the better. I still am sleeping basically through the night. Sometimes I wake up once, and for someone that has not slept well for all that time, that is just, I know what it's like now to not feel tired, which is just mad. And I feel happier, and I've still got the tape and listen to it now. So what I would say is, if you're interested or want to know more about it, or have had difficulties with mental health or sleeping or addiction or phobias, they can help with all that kind of stuff, and it does feel a little bit like magic. I've recommended it to a few people who I know, and they've had similar experiences to me. And that's it really. I've just gone on a bit of a ramble. I need to go to Tesco now, so I'm gonna head off. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or want some advice about being hypnotised, just comment or message me. I'm happy to help, because it's really, like I said before, it's just